everybody, Tim here for today's review of Doctor Who. Story number 260, a two-parter, the season 9 premiere, The Magician's Apprentice, The Witch's Familiar. So, oh God, this is going to be a long video, so just strap in, get ready. The first thing I want to talk about is this episode is officially, after the 10-year anniversary from, Rose. It's been over 10 years at this point that New Who has been on the air. So, I mean, that's impressive. That's really good. So, just get that out of the way. The first episode, we'll talk about the first episode of Magician's Apprentice. I fucking loved it. Oh my God. It is, literally, the perfect episode. Everything about it, and it's just the dialogue. It's so well written. And just everything with, the opening scene specifically. I cannot get enough of it. It is the perfect Doctor Who moment. Absolutely 100% perfect. If I could just review just that opening scene, 10 out of 10. Where they're in the hand mine and you actually see the hands come up and they have little palms in them. I mean, it's very Del Toro but I was oh my God, it's great. And then the line of tell me the name of the boy who isn't going to die today. And then when he's Davros, you're just oh my God. Especially for somebody like me, who has watched all of the old Doctor Who, every single episode. And I'm oh, it's Davros. I mean, I don't know. For people who've only seen New Who, are you just okay, it's Davros, BFD. But I lost it. So then when we see the snake guy going through, he goes to the bar, he goes to the Shadow Proclamation. Cannot say that word. And I was oh, that's a nice little reference. He goes to Karn. When I talk about, we need to see more diversity in Doctor Who because they keep doing the same things over and over again. Karn is a perfect example. They showed up in one episode of the original series, my favorite fourth Doctor episode, The Brain of Morbius. And then they were in, is it The Night of the Doctor, I think? Where it's a little short story with number 8. We need more of the Sisterhood of Karn. We absolutely do. That's the number one thing. If we could bring them back, that'd be great. And so, once we get to, the meat of the episode, oh, planes have stopped moving. And, Kate Stewart returns. And I was ooh, that's kind of fun. Anytime we see a Lethbridge Stewart, I'm okay with it. Of course, on the computer, it's the, hey, Missy, you're so fine thing. Which her first line where she's nope, I'm not dead. It's not a big deal. Move it on. I was that's literally a Doctor Who explanation. Because I've said it before in multiple videos. If you want continuity, Doctor Who is not the show for you. So we keep going. And I like it. And, oh, God. So we learn all about the Doctor's will, who's delivered to his friend. And I love Clara starts to reach for it and a lecture. His friend, not you, me. It just kind of shows the whole doctor-master relationship. So we get that. And it's see that couple? You're the puppy. Missy is so great. Oh, I know she has a bunch of audiobooks or audio adventures with Big Finish. And I kind of want to listen to them just because of how much I love Missy. And she's great. She has the line where it's oh, we go way back. I mean, we go back to the Cloister Wars, when the Doctor stole the moon and the President's wife, when he was just a little girl. And she's one of those is a lie. Which one is it? Spoiler alert. If you just stop listening. If you go to The Timeless Child, this makes sense. So I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. So, I mean, I'm going to go with the Cloister Wars. I think that's the one that's fake. Because I know everybody's well, we've seen all of the Doctor's regenerations. He's never been a girl before. Timeless Child proved that wrong. So I was I'm going to go with the Cloister Wars. So we get that. Her, where she's I'm not turning good. And she just starts killing people again. It's so perfect with Missy. They talk about there's 3 possible versions of Atlantis. We've seen 2 of them in Doctor Who before. So I was that's great. That's a perfect little shout out. Again, a great reference to old Doctor Who. Because like I said, we've been to 2 different ones. Going, I think, back to the 2nd Doctor. So I love that. Let's see, what? Missy has the vortex manipulator, cheap and nasty time travel. Great reference to Captain Jack Harkness. The electric guitar on the tank is so perfect. And I mean, Capaldi was in a rock band when he was younger, so that's actually him like rocking out. His line of like, yesterday I had a bow tie, and the day before I had a long scarf. A great reference to 11 and 4, who actually have both met in the one episode, so I love that. The snake in a dress. Like, I mean, I thought it was pretty predictable that he was snake-like, but the actual effects of his face moving were perfect. They were so great. Once again, Missy has one of the greatest lines where she's like, oh, Davros is your archenemy? I'll scratch his eyes out. Loved it. And then, of course, in the next episode, she actually does poke him in the eye, so I loved it. When the Doctor actually sees Davros and he actually plays previous footage from, God, like, there's 4, 6, I know 10, 7, like he plays quite a bit of footage, and then he plays probably the most famous, it's arguably the most famous episode of the Fourth Doctor, where he has the wires, and he's like, if you could kill somebody that you know would grow up to be evil, could you do it? Like, do you have the right? And it's perfect, and it's so well done. So I love that. I loved all of that to just put together. Him shooting Missy and Clara, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, meh, I don't buy it. It's going to be fake. But it was still really well done. And then, of course, ending the episode with the Doctor, like, shooting at young Davros. I was like, again, I don't think that's how it's going to be. Sure enough. So the second episode, I will admit, the first episode is so much better. The second episode did take kind of a step down, but I still really, really enjoyed it. Where even from the opening where Missy's like ties up Clara and she's like, I'm going to tell you a story. And you see the Fourth Doctor run by. Clearly it's like a lookalike. It's not even a lookalike. It's really bad. Like, it's not previous footage or anything, but he runs by, and then the First Doctor runs by, and he's like, and she goes, they're all the same to me, so it doesn't matter. Let's just go with the eyebrows. And then it just cuts to 12. And I was like, oh, okay. That's kind of odd, but I guess it works. And just telling the story is really fun. The Doctor stealing Davros' chair is, oh God, everything about it. Like, it's such a great start to what I'm hoping is such a great season. But, like, I'm so excited. I'm still riding the high coming off the last season. They talk about the Dalek sewer, which, once again, Moffat, we go back to the curse of the death, inevitable death, infinite death, whatever the fuck it is. And where it's like the Daleks have a sewer because the Master kept falling in the sewer. He fell in it like 3 times. And so for this, the Daleks have a sewer, but the sewer is also the same word as a graveyard because Daleks can't die. They live forever, even if they're sludge. Which we've never seen before, but it's also dark and creepy at the same time. I absolutely love the scene where she's like, we should throw a rock and see how deep it is. And Misty's like, yeah, and just knocks Clara in there. It's like, 20 feet. Oh, fuck. Like, Missy's so perfect. I absolutely love it. Seeing Clara get inside the empty Dalek, for one, I'm sure everybody in New Who is going to be like, oh, this is like when Clara was in the Dalek. Like, her first appearance. To me, like, it goes all the way back to the first Doctor, because the first Dalek episode, we see Ian Chesterfield get inside the Dalek, and then later on, the first Doctor ends up hiding inside of a Dalek in the museum episode. So I loved that. I will admit, the one scene I absolutely hate is Davros being like, can I see you with my own eyes? It is too Darth Vader-y. Like, it's quoting Darth Vader. Like, it's too much on there. When he gives them the regeneration energy, I was like, this is a mistake. Why are you doing this? Oh, wait, he planned it, and it was done on purpose. So, once again, like, they got me. Like, I was like, no, you're being an idiot. Why? Oh, you meant to do it, and it wakes the sewer up. Got it. The sonic glasses, I'm totally okay with. I loved it. Because, like, I hate the sonic screwdriver. I think it's just a useless piece of equipment. And, I mean, that's why they got rid of it for several years in old Doctor Who. It's a cop-out where it's like, oh no, how do we get out of this? And so, like, the fact that he's changed it to glasses, I'm okay with it. Let's see where it goes. The TARDIS reconfiguring, was interesting, something we hadn't seen before, but it also makes sense, so I'm okay with it. We'll see how it goes. Overall, absolutely loved it. Both episodes were fan-fucking-tastic. Cannot wait to see how the season goes. So, curious what other people thought. Go ahead, let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll see you guys next time for another two-parter. Like, Matt Smith had, like, almost no two-parters, and they're making up for it. And I love the two-parters. So, I'll see you guys next time for Under the Lake and Before the Flood.